It's the Yule Kids Club! Let's have the holly in the Yule Kids Club! Muffle and Jolly, Justin the dentist, and Amy likes elves in the Yule Kids Club! Yule Kids Club!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Yule Kids Club. Welcome to, I suppose, the Yule Kids Club. That was great. Is Santa here? Santa? Are you here?
Yes, it is I, Santa.
Justin, are you telling me that you've been Santa the whole time?
Yep. That's what we're doing.
That is a fucking revelation.
I know. So I'm Justin, one of America's favorite siblings. Also, Kris Kringle, Santa Claus,
Saint Nicholas himself. Wow.
Oh, Shisho.
Well, hi, Justin. I'm Amy.
Hi.
Hey,
Amy.
I'm your sister.
Are you any big holiday icon? Are you
I'm
the Great
too
Pumpkin or
sleepy
something?
for that, Justin. I can't be up all night.
Well, it's like you got to work like one day a year.
When I would be into that. I would be into that. Let me check and see. What, like, the Easter Bunny, or maybe I could be like a Krampus.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
A Krampus? That could be a
Krampus.
Krampus situation.
Krampus.
Oh, that sounds fun. Well, hey, we're the Yule Kids Club today, officially.
Yes, we are.
Because
Merry holidays,
Yule.
Happy Christmas, Merry Yule.
Yeah, just a happy Yule to everyone.
I always forget that the Yule Kids Club theme includes the line "bowl full of jolly."
Oh,
And
it does.
and then I hear it again, and it makes me laugh. All over.
I love it. It's Brian Haygeist Wakefield for you. Yeah, we're the Yule Kids Club today because we are talking about our first Christmas topic of the... This is a very special episode because not only
Yes.
is it our first Yule Kids Club of the year, it's our first of 4 December episodes. And 4.
We don't have a special way we say 4. It's just
4? 4? Anything could be special if it's me and you. And it's a movie club. It's our last movie club of the year.
Our last movie club of the year, which we always reserve for a Christmas movie.
Yes.
In years past, we did what was the first one? We did the Santa
Muppet
Claus.
Christmas Carol? Was that the first one?
Muppet Christmas Carol was last year.
Oh, okay. Then the Santa Claus was the year before.
Santa Claus.
Okay. That's only 2 we've done, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what do we got on deck
We are...
for the Christmas movie club this year?
Again,
A character we've talked about before.
It's
a franchise we've visited before.
Yes. And I think that, like we said, we could do things like Home Alone or Elf that are really popular and are beloved, and we love them.
And we're gonna.
And we will. But I think starting with things that are very, specific to us is why we're talking about this movie today, which is Ernest Saves Christmas.
In the past, there have been many traditional ways to celebrate Christmas. With songs, with gifts, with family and friends. There's a new way.
Ho, 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 Vern.
With Ernest. Ernest P. Worrell. He's back.
Know what I mean?
Back to save Santa.
Santa's in the slammer.
Look at those beady, twinkling eyes.
Back to save Christmas. Back to save face.
You dead meat.
That's life for you, isn't she?
Yes. We've talked about, we've covered Ernest Goes to Camp, the first entry in the Worrellverse.
The Worrellverse?
Yeah. But not even the first entry. The first full-length feature.
Yeah, the first full-length feature, yeah.
Of Ernest.
Which was the year before this one, right? 87.
Yes. Yeah. These were... Ernest was hot. Ernest Mania was running wild, as we like to say.
Running wild, yeah.
Across
in those
the
late
nation.
80s, the early 90s,
He was everywhere. He was in commercials. He was, if you recall, at the Daytona 500, getting getting bigger crowd reactions than fucking Mickey Mouse,
Yes.
as I recall.
Yes.
Everybody loved Ernest.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so yeah, the transition to the big screen, was inevitable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we got one of my personal favorite movies, Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yes.
And now this one, and I have in here later, John Cherry, who directed all of these,
Yes.
says that he feels that Ernest Saves Christmas is the best Ernest movie. Would you agree? Why or why not? I would say it's certainly the most family friendly of them. I think.
Yeah, I would.
Like
Yeah.
even Ernest Goes to Camp. It's funny to say Ernest Goes to Camp has darkness in it, but
it does.
it does a little. And Ernest Goes to Jail is kind of scary, and
Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid is
Ernest
kind of
Scared Stupid
scary.
is kind of scary. Yeah.
This
I
is
think-
just like wholesome family fun.
I was gonna say, I think this one
there's
has-
no violence really. Even
Yeah.
Ernest doesn't get hurt that much.
You know, he does. He really a couple of times, and those are
A
good.
couple. He gets a couple good ones. He catches a couple good ones.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It doesn't. I mean, this one is very
Very happy ending.
very
which I all have
wholesome
happy endings,
and
but-
has a lot of heart. Which of course, Ernest Goes to Camp has a lot of heart too.
yes.
But yeah,
When
this
he sings tender ballads in the rain, it makes me cry.
yes, exactly.
He doesn't do that in this one.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't get too sad in this one.
No,
any point
he
in
doesn't
time.
really have a dog in the hunt. I mean, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
he's just kind of
kinda-
helping. He's
I was
kind of
gonna
just
say-
helping out this guy he knows.
I was gonna say this is he just sort of has stumbled into this whole situation.
Yeah, but I
And
know.
just like Ernest does, he's just blindly out there making things worse / helping ? Yeah, it's great. It's
Boy,
it's
I
a
love
great one.
Ernest. Boy, I
I
love
know.
Jim Varney.
I know.
And God, it just kills me we don't have him around.
I know. It does me too. I know.
We could have as many Ernest movies as there are Bond movies at this point.
Oh my God, we could.
He could have gone through the low point in the 90s and then made a comeback.
Yeah. And he would have, because he would have kept voicing Slinky in the Toy Story movies, which those kept going on.
Anyway,
Yeah. What could have been. Let's talk about what was.
yeah,
And
let's
that
do
is
that.
this
'Cause
gem of a movie.
this is joyful. This is
This
a joyful topic,
Yes.
and we're ringing in the Yule tide with
Yeah.
joy and not sadness about Jim Varney.
That's right.
Sorry
Because he
about
gave us so much. He gave
Yes.
us so much when he was here.
Yes.
So obviously we're not going to talk a lot about the development of Ernest as a character, because we've done that before on here.
I suggest you go listen to whatever episode that was. Ernest Goes to Camp.
Last summer.
Movie club last summer sometime.
Yeah. So we're just going to kind of go straight into just the
Straight
meat and
into the
potatoes.
Ernest.
Straight
Really
into
get
the
in there
Ernest.
with Ernest.
Yeah, just really get down in there.
Them snakes.
So in this movie, Ernest is playing a cab driver. And,
So he was a camp at Ernest Goes to Camp. He was like a maintenance man for the camp, and then he became
Yes.
a counselor.
Yes.
There's no mention of that in the. there's
Absolutely none.
I like
No,
that he
these-
always has like a blue collar type job.
Well, he's a blue collar guy.
He is a blue collar guy.
Yeah.
He's maintenance man in this one. He's driving a cab.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't remember his professions in the other ones.
In the jail, he worked at the bank, but he was the janitor at the bank.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
that's
wanted to
right.
be.
I mean, let's be honest. Like,
A bank teller, 'cause
people
that's the
aren't
ultimate
hiring Ernest to
Count my money.
do your hedge funds and stuff. Like, he's got big janitor energy. So, I mean, cab drivers.
That man was born to mop.
That he was born to mop. So in this one, he plays a cab driver, and we are introduced to him in a really hilarious fashion. He is driving this man to the airport.
This movie wastes no time.
It doesn't. And 2 days before Christmas, so it's crazy. And he's speeding, trying to get this man to the airport on time. And the gag is great, because this guy is literally, he has like a briefcase in his hand or something. And he's just frozen in the back seat. And so Ernest is zipping in and out of traffic, and he's just sliding back and forth in the back seat. To the point where he slides into the door at one point, and it opens the door, and he just goes flying, which is a great gag.
This is going to be one of those episodes that's just us describing scenes.
Yeah, sorry about it. I mean, that's what Movie Club is.
That's what it is.
It's what it is. And if you don't like it, I don't know. I don't want to skip this one. But this is what we do. This is what we do. You're either going to love or hate the movie clubs.
Oh, this frozen passenger is so fucking funny.
It is really funny.
And when he tries to get him out at the airport, he's just like bouncing him off the...
Yes.
He's like trying to pick him up because he's fallen over in the seat, and he's just like bouncing off the door.
It's a good one. And that's our introduction to him in this movie.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But
I feel like a pretty... Here's what I found interesting watching this. So the whole impetus of the story, right? How the whole story gets started... is someone leaves something in a taxi cab.
Yeah.
And then that person has to go, like, return it to the person. It's the same plot of Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that absolutely is the premise of Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, it is. But this has Santa instead of Lauren Holly.
Yes. The literal Santa Claus. How many times does he have to say it in this movie? He is Santa Claus. Not Mr. Santos.
So I want to back up for just a second. Because this entire movie is filmed in Orlando.
Yes. And set in Orlando.
It's set in Orlando and filmed there, and it was the first production at the unfinished Disney MGM Studios.
Yes.
And plus there's a bunch of Orlando, like this scene's at Orlando International Airport.
Right, yeah.
And one thing that melts my heart about this movie is that we grew up, where did we grow up? Central Florida in the late 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And this is like 2 hours up the road from us.
Yes.
So, I mean, everything looks exactly how our childhood looked.
Yes, it really, really
the landscape is exactly the same.
Yes.
I love it.
The houses, the vibe, the whole vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't know that it was filmed on the Disney MGM lot. That's
so cool. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, apparently Vern's house, which this is the only movie that has Vern appear in it. And by appear I mean he's
not
the
appear,
camera.
because
He's
that's
the
his whole
camera.
thing.
Yeah.
Really? Now, I've not seen all the Ernest movies, so I assumed he must have been in some others, but he's not?
Nope. This is it. And it's maybe the best scene in the movie.
Oh, God, it's so fucking good. You know what we need? Some bolt cutters.
Yeah. No, that house was on the residential street that used to be on the Backlot tour, I read.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I would love to do a Backlot tour.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I wonder what else they filmed there.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if Ernest was saving Christmas there, who knows?
Shoot, yeah, anything's possible.
So they used the Orlando Science Center
as the children's museum.
Is not that anymore, but as the Orlando Children's Museum. And I did notice in one scene there's a sign behind them that clearly says Orlando Science Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Whoops. That's fine.
So, who shows up at the friggin' Orlando airport? Where else would Santa Claus be hanging out?
Yeah. Well, he's looking for his replacement. Mm-hmm. This is the whole.
Now, there's a deep, complex mythology we're gonna have to get into here.
Oh boy, yeah.
So hang on tight.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's looking for his replacement because
no, this is a Santa Claus. I get this movie was ahead of Dumb and Dumber, and it was ahead of the Santa Claus, which is a similar sort of premise.
It is
of like Santa succession.
Yes, that Santa is not just 100,000-year-old.
Like I'd watch that show.
Yeah.
If it was like Succession, but Santa Claus. Ooh. That would be good.
Oh, Brian Cox would be the most ornery Santa Claus.
The most ornery.
Oh,
It sounds like
God.
a Saturday Night Live skit, to be honest.
It does. Get Lorne on the horn. Get him on the horn.
Lorne.
Lorne. Yeah, so it's like he's been doing it, and you find out what Santa's name was before Santa at the end of the movie.
Yes, and it's a good name.
It is a good name. Can we say it? We can say it. It's not a spoiler.
Spoiler alert for
Spoiler
Santa's
alert.
real name at the end of Ernest Saves Christmas, everyone.
A movie that came out 30 years ago. It's Seth Applegate, which is a good name.
That is a great name. That sounds like a tall tale.
It does. It does. So he's been doing the Santa thing.
Santa, if his math is correct, for about 150 years at this point, right?
So that's too long for any one human. So there's some magical...
Well, there's certainly Santa magic at play. I mean,
Okay.
that's the whole thing, is there's magic at play.
There is... Yeah, of course.
So he has been being preserved and kept alive by the Santa magic. Mm-hmm. You know, and held together by, it's like the Force.
Yeah, sure. But he's had about enough. It's time to retire.
Well,
and just
here the thing that we learn is that he is over time, the Santa magic weakens.
Yes.
And eventually someone else has to take over, and he's stayed way past when he probably should have retired.
Right.
Because he liked it so
really...
much. So he's down to the fucking wire here. He's got to find someone to be Santa.
Yeah. Because you know what strikes me is he's waited till December 23rd.
Yes. He has had
come have
150 years to figure this out.
And he's like, he had someone in mind.
Yes.
But he's like...
He waited until
2 days before Christmas.
2 days
like,
before Christmas to
by
go
the
get
way,
him.
in 2 days, you're going to have to do this job. Like that's not very fair.
Like now, and yeah. Okay. So he has this TV show host picked out. He's like a Mr. Rogers type kids
Yeah. Very
TV
wholesome.
show host. Joe Carruthers.
Joe Carruthers.
Joe Carruthers, and he has him.
Joe Carruthers.
He has him picked out as his successor.
Yes.
Yeah, to be the new Santa. Santa is played by Douglas Seal, and I honestly feel like he's one of the absolute best screen Santas, even though you never once see him dressed as Santa.
Yeah.
In the whole movie.
You buy it. Like, you buy it that he's Santa.
He's jolly and friendly.
Yes.
He's so nice. He's such a
very
nice dude.
nice.
Just how you know Santa would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I
super
agree.
cool. Super cool.
Just a super cool dude.
Douglas Seal, the actor, was also the voice of the Sultan in Aladdin.
What? He was?
Yes!
I didn't know
In
that.
fact, I remember probably the last time I watched Aladdin, which was probably when we covered it, I was like, I recognized that voice. Who is that? And I had to look it up, and I was like, Santa.
Santa.
It is Santa.
It is Santa. Papa Jiju.
So this whole Santa succession thing, what the hell does this have to do with Ernest driving a cab at the airport?
Well, because when Ernest gets to the airport after bringing his frozen passenger,
This frozen fella.
he ends up
And causing a big wreck and like...
causing a big... Oh, well, it's Ernest, so...
Yeah, there's some hijinks afoot.
There's always hijinks afoot. But then, Santa needs a ride to the Children's Museum where Joe is, so there's Ernest. So there
I
you
like
go. Enter
that.
Ernest.
I really like the scene at the beginning where Santa has befriended a guy on the plane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the guy on the plane and they're just so nice to each other. I love it.
I know.
It's just like two guys who kind of just met and became friends and probably never see each other again.
Yeah. Well, because one of them is Santa Claus.
Because one of them is Santa. No, he says he wants snow for Christmas because he hates that he has to be in Florida with no snow. And then at the end, you see it.
Santa makes it snow.
Santa makes it snow, Amy.
She was like, "Oh, well, I thought you wanted a CD player. Let me make note of that."
And the guy kind of gives him a side eye, like, "What?
Yeah.
How'd you know?"
Huh?
Oh.
How could
And
you
then
know that?
the guy sees it snow at the end of the movie, and
Yeah.
his Christmas faith and spirit is reborn.
Restored. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Santa.
It is. It is a really sweet moment. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
This really is a good one. I really love it. And I think I try to watch it every year, but I don't think I watched it last year, so it had been a little bit.
It'd been a little while for me, too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all of our main characters, with the exception of Harmony Star,
Oh, Harmony Star.
a.k.a. Pamela Trenton.
A wayward teen.
A runaway.
A runaway.
Probably
Who
a drug addict.
Yeah, possibly. They give that vibe, but, you know, it's a PG movie, so.
Yeah. But, yeah, in real life, she would have been a drug addict.
Oh, absolutely. She would have already been human trafficked.
Yeah, she ends up jumping in Ernest's cab after she
Yeah.
dines and dashes.
Yes.
And
Yeah. And
and
then
now
tells
she's
them
mixed
a
up
story.
in that. So her day goes from I'm gonna dine and dash to now I'm mixed up in a conundrum with this redneck
With
taxi
a
driver
lovable
and the
idiot
actual
and
Santa Claus.
Actual Santa Claus. Yes.
Yeah. So she ends up crashing
Step up.
with Ernest, and he wants to be like sort of a father figure for her.
Yeah, like a
Kinda
mentor.
help her out. You know, this
Yeah.
girl needs some help.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't mention the theme or the song from Joe Crothers'
Oh, yeah.
show. You want to give us a little taste
Well,
of it?
I don't remember the melody, but I know
They
the
never
word.
get old. They
They
always
always
stay
say
new.
new.
Those three
Those
little words, please,
Please
and
and
thank you.
thank you. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was what old Joe was known for. Joe's almost too good.
He is.
Yeah, like he can't say the word bitch on a movie. Like,
Quit being a bitch.
God.
Well, no, it's not that he can't say bitch. It's that
doesn't-
he is known for being this children's TV
Yes.
icon, or at least
Yes.
local one.
Right.
And his longtime show's been canceled. And he's trying to get cast in this movie in which he
Santa Sleigh.
Santa Sleigh. Now it's not
Not
It's
Leiga.
Laigh. No, it's not. It's
So,
S-L-Y.
yet we get I want to back up and say Santa does make contact with Joe. He does meet him very briefly, and he tries explaining what is, he tries explaining who he is, and he's interrupted by Joe's smarmy, yuppie
the agent. His
agent
agent. Oh my
Making-
god, this guy
making
is
deals.
so
making deals.
perfectly like
Cast? Oh,
late
yeah.
80s yuppie.
Oh,
Like,
big time.
Perfectly cast. Yes.
Yes.
He is
so
very
he
good at
wants
playing
him-
that guy. He's got rolled up
Yeah.
the rolled up sleeves on his blazer.
Yeah, real Don Johnson of him.
And he's like, what does he sing when you first see him? He's like,
Oh, Jingle
bells, checkbook swells,
yeah.
big deals on the way.
Yeah, something like that.
This is basically a cartoon.
It is. It is a caricature for sure. So now he is Joe's agent, and he wants him to go out for this Santa Sleigh movie. And Joe's like, well, this is more money. I don't know what this old codger's talking about.
Right.
So
Santa's in town
trying
to
convince
recruit
him.
Joe.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
going great.
It's not going
Meanwhile,
great, no.
he finds himself stranded in Orlando. He's left his magic Santa sack in Ernest's cab. Ernest, meanwhile, opens the sack, sees the Santa magic for himself, which is
Yes.
we only see the light of, like the briefcase
like the
in
Pulp Fiction.
It's
Yes.
like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm glad we both went there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, that's where Quentin Tarantino got it from, I'm sure.
I'm sure, as influential as we're clearly seeing this as this movie is. On so many of our favorites.
That's right.
But yeah, Ernest realizes
he
he
still doesn't
is the real
believe.
Santa. Harmony, no, she's skeptical,
Yeah.
but she's, kind of along for the ride at this point.
She's also selfish. She wants, $1 million in unmarked bills for Christmas.
Yeah, she's a kid.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about the main subplot of the movie, which comes back around at the end.
Oh, sure.
Which
the
is
reindeers?
Which is Bobby and Chuck at the airport.
Old Bobby and Chuck.
This is the first time we see Bobby and Chuck. So it's Bill Berg or Bergie or Burge and Gaylord Sartain.
Gaylord Sartain, yeah.
He's the one doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Chuck, and he's a mainstay in Ernest stuff.
Yes. Well, they are they have like a warehouse, right?
Right. Well, so they're like some kind of like customs agents or
That's
something.
what it is. Yeah,
at
like
the
customs.
airport. And
That's what it is.
They get they receive this giant shipment of these big crates that turn out to be Santa's flying reindeer.
Yeah.
We get a whole lot of like Chuck doing his like eyes back and forth, like the
And Bobby just being great. Let's just be honest.
The whole scene where they're going back and forth trying to read the address or the
if it's an M or a V.
the name,
yeah,
and he's just like now that is an M, and Bobby's just V. No, that right there is an M. V.
Bobby, how about you go on back to work?
Bobby,
and
I'll
talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later.
You know what? It was a V.
Bobby was right.
It was the
Bobby
helper elves.
Yeah,
not elms.
Not helper elms, as we learned. A classic misspelling, like Miak instead of milk.
Oh yeah, just classic.
Just
happens
classic.
all the time. Yeah.
I do think maybe my favorite scenes, we get early on Ernest showing up to Vern's house with the Christmas tree.
Jesus Christ.
That he picks up off the highway after it falls off a truck of Christmas trees.
Tannenbaum, stay calm. I'll get you.
Stay calm.
Oh.
These movies are so good.
They're so good. But yeah, he brings him and Harmony. They bring Vern a Christmas tree.
Yes, and it's
solicited.
And so if you have at this point they were doing the Saturday morning cartoon Ernest Mania Run Wild again.
Oh yeah.
And of course the premise of Ernest commercials was that he was talking to Vern. The
cameraman, yeah.
And this is the only time, like I said, the only time in the movies they do it, but it's a good one, man.
It's so good.
Just him forcing his way into the house and just proceeding to destroy everything.
Just destroy the whole house and then just leave.
Party punch.
And him just drinking out of that enormous bowl.
The gigantic punch bowl, just like bringing it up to his lips and sipping it. And then him
great.
ripping the wiring out of the wall.
Yeah. And he just cut back. You cut away and go to something else. Then you cut back, and he's just pulling on the wire, and the chandelier is just going up and down, up and down. And he's like, "You know what we need, Vern? Bolt cutters." And then he just lets it go, and it just crashes onto the table. And that's the last time you see him in there. He just came by real quick to destroy everything.
Just
Vern
came by
loves.
and destroyed your entire house. And
yeah. See you later, Vern.
And that's the only time it's ever brought, like, it's sort of like it has nothing to do with the plot.
No. It's just a great gag.
Just an excuse for him to destroy Vern's house.
Speaking of gags, in the middle of the movie, you really get a run where he does, like, 3 characters.
Yeah,
a row.
I was thinking that because, like, Ernest playing different characters becomes such a big part of Ernest and him doing all these different
Yes.
bits and costumes and stuff. And there's not a lot, but yeah, you're right. There is like it's kind of all right in the middle of the movie. You get like three good ones.
And they're like back to back because they're of course they're trying to get Santa's sack back to him. They realize he really is Santa. They go back to the Children's Museum and find that Santa has been hauled off. They called the cops on him.
Because yuppie agent called the cops.
Yeah.
And they took him to jail.
For no reason, they booked him.
They booked his ass.
Yeah. So he's in jail.
Amy, his fingerprints are snowflakes.
His fingerprints have snowflakes. I know. God damn it. It's so good.
God damn it.
It's such a cute little touch. And every time they make any, like they see the bag or there's that little like tinkly little music that they play that's just like anytime Santa magic
that's
is
what
afoot.
Christmas magic Santa magic sounds like.
Yeah, so you get the first character when he's trying to get him out of jail, but you have like three
so
right back to back.
all of the characters come as Ernest and Harmony realize that Santa is in the slammer.
Yes,
and they got to get him out. Mm-hmm. So that you get all these characters. So tell us about the characters.
Well, so the first one is, what is it, Aster Clement, and he's supposed to be, he works for the governor. What's the governor's name? Oh, it's like Herbert something, Ellingsworth or something, I don't know. And Harmony's playing his niece, the governor's niece. And she's writing a paper about, what is it, what the justice system means
how the
to
government
me, how the government works. That's what it is. And she's asking some great questions.
Aster Clement, and he talks like the Tyrannosaurus from the claymation Christmas. His name is escaping me.
Frasier.
Yeah, it talks like that.
Oh God, I can't think of his name either. But yes, it's exactly what he sounds like.
Yeah. And he's got slicked back hair. Just
yes.
Like wire rim glasses, giant face.
Giant face. 80s suit. Where he gets these things, I'll never know.
Well, he's a master of disguise.
He really, really is.
Yeah.
He is. And Harmony is actually really great in this scene where she's asking all the questions and she's like, did you win an election, or did you buy your way in, or did you win an election, or whatever it was?
I have to tell you, when I was a kid, I had a big crush on her.
Oh, sure.
In this movie, especially in this scene.
Oh, God. Because she's acting so innocent and has, like, pigtails.
Not really the act, but I don't know, just the look, I guess. I don't know.
The look.
I mean, she's a kid compared to me now, so...
Well,
it's
sure,
weird,
but
it's weird to say,
time,
but growing up, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So they get him out of jail, and then then they have to go and talk to the yuppie asshole. And so then they have to find
Joe. Now figure out where Joe is.
Oh, they have to figure out where Joe is, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to talk to the yuppie asshole, and he does another one, which is Auntie Nelda.
A real top tier Ernest character.
Oh my God! And he's got
this is one of the heavy hitters, as we like to say.
He has a neck brace on that is pushing. He talks like this.
Yeah, he's got like 8 chins because the neck brace is pushing him up so much. And he's like on a walker in this huge like green dress with a lacy frock thing.
I was literally just thinking of this the other day, and it's funny because I wasn't thinking about Ernest, but now, of course, I am. And
I think about Ernest a lot.
I bet. We don't have enough movies where everyone's playing all the characters. I was thinking about
We've talked about how this is revolutionary, right? And
yes.
This is before Dumb and Dumber, right? We've established Dumb and Dumber. We've established Pulp Fiction that this movie influenced.
Yeah,
there was another one at some point. I'm gonna say, The Nutty Professor and basically all of Eddie Murphy's career
and Mike
after
Myers.
a certain time, and Mike
Myers. Yeah. So I Married an Ex-Murderer, which is the conversation that Scott and I were having about how I've never seen it. I want to watch it, and he was like, "This was This was peak him playing all the characters, doing all the stuff. And I'm just like, we don't have that enough. Why aren't we doing that? Is it because we've gotten to, like, PC?
No, I don't know. I guess it just... I guess, for me, I would think with, like, CG technology, it's not impressive at all to see the same person, like...
Yeah, but I think that's, like, not the point. It's supposed to be about, like, I feel like it's, like, the makeup and...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, you would
It all have to be the
wouldn't
same
use
ethnicity,
CG.
for sure.
Oh, yeah. Which I think is probably part of why we don't see it. But also, like, same gender and stuff like that, you know? I don't think we're as, like, cool with, like Ernest dressing up as a woman. Like, someone's going to have a problem with that now. Sure. You know what I mean? So, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is it because of that? Because, I mean, we were doing that on into the 2000s, but, yeah. But I'm like, we don't have enough movies anymore where one person's playing, like, you know, all the characters.
Playing, a state's attorney and an old auntie. And then my personal favorite.
Oh, God.
The Snake Rancher.
The Snake Rancher. So these really are back to back. It's like he just pulls out these characters.
Well,
back
it's because this is the. I mean, he's got a scheme here. He's got to come up. He's got something to do.
He's got himself a system. Yeah.
He's got himself a system.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the best one where he pretends.
The Snake Ranchers is the best one.
He finds out
this is to get into the movie lot.
Yes, to get into the movie lot, because he finds out, okay, here's where Joe is. He's doing some tests, filming for this movie. And so he pretends to be a snake rancher from Apopka Snake Farm.
Which is a real place.
Which is a real place.
Apopka, I think.
Apopka. And it's, like, written on the side in, like, you know, like, mailbox stickers. Basically, like...
You know that was someone's real truck. Like, they knew
I'm
someone
sure it was.
who really had that truck.
Probably. And
with Santa in the back, he's smuggling Santa onto the movie lot.
A Santa with a bunch of hoses under a
bunch
tarp.
of hoses under a tarp with like rattles and macaritas, pretending to be a writhing bed of snakes.
God, it's so good. It's so good. He's so...
and what? How would you describe the Snake Rancher?
He's very dirty.
Yes.
And very sweaty. And yeah,
dressed as you might imagine a Snake Rancher would be, in like,
oh sure,
you know,
tatters of clothing,
tattered undershirt with suspenders over and a big hat.
And a big hat. Yeah, just classic.
He says, "Them horror movie folks I want is patterns. They're patterned ones," and so the plan is he's just gonna freak the security guy out.
Yeah, so that they'll let him on.
So they'll let him in, and he's like, "You want one for your boy? I gave one to my boy last year," and he just like puts his hat over his heart and starts singing this like mournful song. That's all these movie people want. Patterns.
Well, and he quote riles him up.
Where he's like poking him with a stick.
He's poking poor Santa with the stick, yeah. But Santa's a trooper. And they do get him in there, and Santa's able to go and talk to Joe. But one of my favorite things is, so then Ernest is just like waiting by the truck, being a snake rancher.
Yeah.
And somebody comes up, they're like, "Hey, are you the snake guy?" He's like, "Oh, yeah," you know, kind of forgot he was like in character. And they just have this huge bucket of snakes, and they just dump them in the bed of the truck. And he's like, "Oh, I'll count them later." Like, why is that's his response? I'll count them later. I'll count them later.
One of my favorite Ernestisms is the nervous, like, and I can't even do it justice, where it's like all the veins in his neck pop out, and he's just like, his eyes go back and forth, and it's just this nervous little,
It's great. And he does count them later.
He does. I love that it just cuts to like him and Santa's
having a conversation. Yeah,
having a conversation out on the tree line. He's just tossing snakes over his shoulder.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he's got a bunch attached to his face. Oh God! Damn it.
So this doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have a lot of Ernest getting hurt. Not nearly as much.
Yeah, but there's that scene.
There's that with the snakes latched onto his face, and then another one,
God.
which is my favorite, is when he's making the pancakes. And
When he's making the pancakes. Please tell us about that scene.
Well, it's a wonderful scene because it's him and it's Ernest and Harmony, and they're kind of that's when they're coming up with like sort of the plot of how to get Santa out of jail.
Yeah.
And
you see the inside of Ernest's house,
which is magical.
it's almost like a Pee-wee-esque. It's not as, there's not a pulley system, but
Right.
there's a lot of it's very magical.
Whimsical as shit.
It is very whimsical, and he's really gone all out with his Christmas decor.
Yes, big time.
Yeah.
And he is making pancakes on this big skillet for breakfast.
And he keeps flipping them, but then they just disappear.
He keeps flipping them up in the air, and then they never come back down.
Yeah.
And then you get the great payoff at the end, where he makes whatever point he's making, and he holds up the plate, and they all just pop, fall down in a nice neat stack on the plate.
Perfect.
Like, it's a cartoon. It's like
it's
Tom and Jerry.
Essentially, and I love it.
This is also right after he hands her the pancakes. He just like casually just rests both hands on the skillet in front of him, and he just grabs a giant handful of butter out of this bowl, and he's like, "Ooh, lots of butter with mine, don't you? Lots of butter."
It's so good.
This is also the scene where he talks about how when after he's realized that Santa is actually Santa.
Uh-huh.
When he was a kid, he was wondering how he got down his chimney.
Yeah.
Or how he got in his house when his house didn't have a chimney.
The forced air system.
He came through the forced air system. And he's like, I would hear things at night, and I would think it's Santa trapped in the heat ducts. And I would think, how is he going to get out? And then I thought of him just
turning into a big blob
and oozing through the vent covers.
That's a real our dad thing.
Yes,
our dad
and
was
he squishes his mouth
basically Ernest.
Oozing through the vent covers.
Oozing through the vent covers. God, it's a good bit. That's a great scene.
It is.
Just all around great.
This movie is brisk. Like, it goes by so quickly.
It does. It's an hour and a half. It's a cool 90 minutes, which is a perfect length for a film.
And how we wrap this up, because now we've got Joe's waffling on am I going to be Santa? Am I going to go do this movie?
Do I even
where
believe
I have
this
to say
guy?
son of a bitch? Like, this guy seems crazy, and also Santa
Yeah.
isn't real.
Right, and he shows up with his sack. He shows up with his sack, and his sack is just feathers because Harmony
does a heel turn.
Yeah,
Steals the sack, and she's going to skip town.
Yeah, but then
So
her
Santa's
conscience gets
screwed.
the best of her.
Joe says no thanks. I don't want to be Santa.
Yeah,
You got a sack full of feathers.
Santa's
You're
really
crazy.
down on his luck at this point.
Santa's been down so long, he don't know what down is. But something.
Yeah, it's he has a conversation with a man waiting on the bus.
Yes.
And then he ends up Harmony has a change of heart, and her conscience gets the best of her
Before leaving town.
and that's when you learn that Harmony's real name is Pamela, because Santa knows her, of course, because he knows everybody.
Santa knows everybody.
Yeah, and he even had a conversation with her at some point. He was like, "Oh, isn't your mom worried about you?" And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he, of course, knew all about how she'd run away and everything. But, she tried to play it. She's
Santa
like,
is
no.
omniscient.
He is. He knows everything about everyone. It's true. It's true.
That's how it works.
That is how it works.
So I love that the thing that finally made, because Joe tells Santa, basically it's almost like, I would love to believe you.
Right.
I would love to believe that all this is real, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. And right now I got to go with the thing that is real, which is health insurance.
Right, which is a paying job. And the thing that makes him believe, the thing that he sees that makes him believe as he gazes out the window at his big movie negotiation meeting on Christmas Eve.
Of course, obviously.
Of course, where all the big movie negotiating meetings happen.
This has all happened within like
is Ernest and
36 hours.
two elves just bulleting around the Orlando skies in a Christmas sleigh pulled by reindeer.
Of course.
Yes.
Well.
Ernest arrives. Ernest is tasked with going and getting the sleigh from the airport. Mm-hmm. Why? Was it ever made clear why he couldn't just ride the sleigh?
I don't know.
It's transportation vehicle.
It is. Yeah. Unsure. Unclear.
Right. This seems like a lot of overkill.
Yeah.
But
some elves do show up.
Some elves do show up.
Helper elves. Yeah.
Helper elves arrives. Helper Elms arrives for the reindeer.
Yes.
They all converge on the airport. You got Bobby and Chuck waiting for. There's a great scene where they call animal control.
Oh yeah.
And animal control shows up, and they're just sitting there not saying a word, and they just look up and
just look up
at all the reindeer that are walking around on the ceiling of the warehouse.
Yeah, it's pretty
but
great.
yeah, Ernest meets up with the elves, and they got to get the sleigh to Santa, and Ernest is in charge of this thing, so it doesn't go smoothly.
Somehow he has become in charge. Yeah.
Yeah, he blows out the tires on the truck, and they end up flying wildly around. This is the closest we ever get to Ernest in space. Is in the final minutes of this movie,
I think
because they
that
do end up in space in Santa's sleigh.
In Santa's sleigh, yeah. They go into like Mach speed. It's sad, but I think we would have gotten an Ernest in space.
Yeah.
If Jim Varney had been around long enough,
Oh, I know that
we got our Muppets in space, Muppets from space. So
yeah,
why wouldn't we have had an Ernest? I know. The hijinks
but this
he
is
could
the
have gotten
closest,
into.
Just endless.
I know. Love it.
But after an extended, wonderful Ernest rides the sleigh around the city and the world, and the planet. He lands it successfully back at the Children's Museum in Orlando, Florida.
Of course,
as you do.
And
everything just kind of comes together, right? So Joe shows up. He's like, I saw that taxi cab driver riding the sleigh, and I believe
that's when I knew.
I know you're really Santa.
Yeah.
And Harmony shows up because she has had a change of heart, and she brings so all the pieces of the puzzle are together. We have the new Santa on board. We have the magic sack. We have the sleigh and the reindeer.
And the time is nigh. I mean, it's Christmas Eve. Like, you gotta get to stepping.
He has, because of the ironclad Santa Magic contract, he has to appoint a successor by 7 p.m. that night.
Sure.
Or all of his powers go away and there just isn't a Santa. Which would
upsetting.
Be devastating.
That would be devastating
for the world.
For all the children of the world.
All the good boys and girls.
That's right. I love the scene where he turns over the powers and he shakes Joe's hand, and you get just a great 1988 visual. Like Joe goes all
the blue electricity.
Yeah.
Very early CG effect.
Yes, I love it.
And he comes out looking pretty good as Santa.
Yeah, even though he had shaved his beard, he just grew it right back.
He grew it right back with Santa
like the
magic.
Santa Claus. That's right.
Like the Santa Claus. Everyone knows the beard is part of that.
It's part of that. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure why Santa was so concerned that he was shaving his beard, because I was like, he's just gonna get a beard when he becomes Santa, right?
Yeah, like
don't. It's like it's more than
this
just
is the guy who waited until the absolute last fucking minute
That's
to do
true.
this.
He's procrastination. Santa.
I feel like he's a bit of a doddering old fool, even if he is well-meaning.
Yeah,
but God bless him.
He's gone too far with this man. Yeah,
and then right at the end, he finds love, or
with the
possibility
lady.
of love.
I know
the little lady who works the front desk at the Children's Museum,
and they
walk off. She is adorable, And
Yeah.
they walk off together because he doesn't have anything to do tonight.
No, he's free.
No, it's Christmas Eve and I'm
He's
free.
Seth Applegate again.
Yep.
After 150 years, I'd start to forget who I was. I'd be like, what was my name?
I'd forget the face of my wife.
Exactly. This is just a real good time.
It's a humdinger.
It is. It's just a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's wholesome.
Yes.
It's got heart.
It's easy,
It's good.
it's breezy, it's funny, it actually makes me laugh.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a great one. There's a reason we watched Ernest a lot.
It feels like my childhood again because
Yes.
of where and when it was filmed. Like it,
Exactly.
it's like yeah,
Not
that's
only
what
did we
everything
watch
really
it a lot
looked
as
like. So
kids,
that's what
but
the houses looked like.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great. I love it.
I love it. You do get a Marvel-esque after the end, after the credit scene that comes
Yeah.
really in mid credits. I think that
Yeah.
where we get Bobby and Chuck in the airport, and then
Mm-hmm.
we get a cameo from the Easter Bunny.
That's pretty funny. And I'd
Yeah.
actually forgotten about that. And I got a good chuckle out of that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a spin-off of like in
Mm-hmm.
the Whirlverse, like a Adventures of Bobby and Chuck.
Oh, that would have been great.
Dealing with the Easter Bunny, dealing with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That would have been great. Were they in Scared Stupid? I don't remember.
Yes, they were. They owned the. Were they? Maybe they weren't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was thinking they were the ones that owned the store that he buys all the troll stuff at, but that's not them. I don't know. I don't think they are.
Okay. Yeah, they're a great little subplot in this one.
Now Vern goes to jail. They're the security guards at the bank.
That's right. I have not seen that one.
they really
in
shine in that one.
years. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh gosh, long time.
Oh, what a good.
Probably since childhood.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen all the others as an adult, but I
Okay.
mean, maybe like teenager, maybe like was the last time I saw that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to remedy that.
Well, this is to me a top tier Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, agree.
Yeah, it is a stone cold classic, which is why we have chosen to induct it
That's right.
into the Cool Kids Club Hall of Fame. Now, do you want to do like an official fanfare?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Do some fanfare.
Yeah, of course.
Should I put on a voice?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
We hereby induct Ernest Saves Christmas into the Cool Kids Movie Club Hall of Fame.
All right. Well, it's official now.
There's
It has joined the ranks.
no take backs.
And I like that we've only done maybe 10 of these, and there's at least 2 Ernest
There's
movies.
2 Ernest movies so far.
This is like the Garfield situation.
There's so much more Ernest we could talk
Out of
about.
so many episodes,
We
5
could,
of them have been
we
about
could talk
Garfield.
about the commercials. We could talk about the Saturday morning show, which I absolutely would want to talk about because I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of Ernest,
There's so much Ernest content.
and we will.
And we will. We're going to have a lot of episodes. This is only episode number 69.
Which we didn't mention.
We didn't mention.
Nice, I guess.
It is, nice.
You gotta say nice.
It is the sexiest. It's the
sexiest
sexiest
episode.
episode. All right, well let's do some plugs before we
Plug it
wrap
up.
this up. That's right. What do you got?
If you want to follow us on social media, please do so.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Instagram and Threads and
Okay.
Twitter at Cool Kids Club Pod. We're also on Facebook. Just search for Cool Kids Club Podcast.
That's
And
right.
If the people want to follow you, where can they follow you?
Well, they can follow
Personally.
Personally, they can follow me at Amy Reads TN on Instagram, and they can follow you at Lousy with Ghosts on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Are you on the Threads personally?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Also, Justin, you have another podcast that you do.
Yeah, check out Blue Bard Cage. It's a classic current wrestling show. Been doing for a long time. We live stream on Saturday afternoons most of the time. So Check that out if you are a wrestling fan. Also, gotta pay tribute to Brian Hey Guys Wakefield.
Oh yeah, Brian Hey Guys Wakefield. Check him out.
Whose presence is
BrianWakefieldMusic.com.
especially known on this episode with the wonderful Yule Kids Club theme. that we
Yes,
heard.
thank you again for all of our bangers theme songs.
Yes.
All of them are great.
What was it? Making sick beats, healing sick kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Brian. That's his
Brian.
tagline.
Yes.
I hope Brian's listening. I would have tuned us out a long time ago. All right. Well, thank you all again for tuning in for another episode of the Yule Kids Club, and of course, another movie club episode. So
Yes.
so
And
yes,
we will
thank
be
you all.
back. We have so much stuff coming up this
We have
month.
so much
We
stuff
have
coming
bonus
up.
episode. We have the 3rd volume of the Christmas tape.
Oh,
up.
that's right.
Christmas
That's right.
time's just beginning here on the podcast. And then we're going to be doing the Year in Cool,
We're
finally.
going to be doing our first year in cool. That's right. So
Yes.
stay tuned. We've got lots of good stuff coming this month. And of course, we've already started planning next year because that's who we are.
Oh,
so yeah,
big nerds. Big nerds.
big giant nerds. So until next time, if y'all could just stay cool, that'd be great.
Go ahead.
Christmas tree, oh 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 Christmas tree.